Here's how crits works in the new patch. So we're gonna go over how crits works, since with the new patch there's a lot of new changes with crits. And I've seen a lot of videos on crits and it's not the complete picture and people do not understand how crits work. Most people think that crit damage has been increased with the new patch. It's actually less than you think. So let's go over crit chance first. Let me explain. So as you can see here, I have a great axe here. Here's a great axe. So crit chance, let's go over how it worked in the old patch. For example, in the old patch, if you had a ring with keen on it and your weapon also had keen, let's say you had 30% crit chance, that crit chance would increase to 60% if you do not crit. So it's the bad luck protection system. And the next crit chance would have increased to 90%. This is if you had, for example, keen on your ring, keen on your great axe, and plus the base crit on your great axe. This is just made up numbers. This is just an example, but this is basically how crit worked in the old patch. In the new patch, for example, let's say you have crit on your ring and your great axe and everything. Same example, you have 30%. Now the crit bad luck protection will only increase with 7%. So if you had 30% to begin with, your next crit increase will only be 7%, since the crit on your weapon is only 7%. And the next one will of course be 44%, since it only increases with 7%. So as you can see, this is the old patch. Your keen and your keen awareness perk on your ring would have counted towards your bad luck protection. But in the next patch, this will not be the case. Just your base crit hit chance of your weapon will add to your bad luck protection. So this means that in the new patch, people will crit for less, or the chance of critting will be less in the next big patch. Now let's talk about crit damage. This is a little bit of a complicated topic, so bear with me. So, as you can see here, I've tested with the great axe. Here's the damage of the light attacks, and here's the crit damage of the light attacks. And here's the, of course, if you can see here, here's the crit multiplier on the great axe, which is 30%. And here's also the crit multiplier in my spreadsheet, which is simple enough to understand. So in the new patch, crits are additive and not multiplicative. Meaning that if you're in medium equip or heavy equip, you will basically crit. Your crit damage will be the same for both. This goes the same for light. I just didn't test light because I'm a little bit lazy. So as you can see here, all crits will scale with your base damage amount of your weapon, which is the great axe that I tested here. So as you can see, the base damage amount of my weapon was 595. Here you have the same damage number. I then also tested in medium equip load, so the damage increased by 9 to 10% to this number, since equip load increases your damage with 10% to 20% for light. So if you can see the formula here, this is medium equip load, this is heavy equip load damage. And if you minus these two numbers, you'll get 60. And if you plus it with the crit of the heavy, you will get the same crit of the medium. So this means that your normal attacks on medium, the damage will increase, but your crit damage will not increase. So basically, all classes, medium, light, heavy, will have the same amount of crit damage increase if they crit, since it scales from your base damage from your weapon and not just your equip load damage. So it's your crit multiplier, which is 1.3, scales with your base weapon damage. This is how crits works in the new patch. In the old patch, your medium equip load, light equip load would have worked with your crit multiplier and it would have been multiplicative. This is no longer the case. I hope this clears up some confusion on how crit works. So just to summarize again, in the new patch, we are going to crit less, crit chance will be decreased, and all classes will also do the same amount of crit damage. I do think that the value of keenly jagged and those keen perks like keenly empowered will go down. And I also think the value of keen rings and keen on the weapon will go up for crit heavy builds. Or else, if you do not run keen on your weapon or on your ring, you will basically crit every 14 hits or so. Go and watch this video if you would like to know how freedom will work in the next patch.